Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold.
Now it's time to open up the line for questions, man. Anybody want to drop a question in the chat? I'll give y'all 5 minutes. Man. We done went over the hour marker, which is a good thing. We starting to get more participation in the live. Shout out to Deacon Chris. Shout out to Souls of Thought. I'm sure Joe Jet probably slid through the chat. I don't know if he could type in today. 333 to everybody that just pulled up. But what questions y'all got for me? I'll answer anything. Drop a question in the chat. I'll post it and answer it. Deacon, you came with a good question yesterday, bro. I actually was able to make an extra piece of content off of that. I appreciate that question, bro. I'm finna post that later today. But yeah, man. He said they use labels to hide the pain receptors. Or the pain of the rejection. Yeah. Everybody been rejected though. You know, that's the thing about shame too, is that everybody feels shame sometimes. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but everybody feels shame sometimes. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. So essentially what I'm saying is anything that you're experiencing that's making you feel shameful, you're not experiencing anything that anybody hasn't experienced before. I'm taking questions right now, y'all. I'm finna hop off live if y'all don't have ask me anything too. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got 5 minutes with me. And you know, if the question carry us out, I got time. It's just, you know, I could be doing other content. I covered all of the bases for the day. But yeah, I feel like, you know, nothing that anybody is going through is anything that's unique to just them. So no matter what issue that you having, you know, there's a populace of other people who have been through it, are going through it, or are going to go through it. So technically, like, nobody should ever be ashamed. You're not alone. No matter what it is, you're not alone. But sometimes we feel like, you know, I think more so shame roots in embarrassment. You know, sometimes people feel embarrassed and the embarrassed breeds shame. But I think shame is a tool, to be honest with you. I think shaming should be used strategically. For sure. I think shaming should be used strategically. I think bullying is a great social, like bullies. I think they're great for society because bullies exist in everything that you're ever going to do. So if you tell kids, oh, no bullying in elementary school, no bullying in high school, ooh, when they get into the professional world, oh my God, are they going to be in for a rude awakening? We got a question. Deacon says, why are women so afraid to be genuinely loved by men? It's loaded, because for me to answer it, I'd have to agree with you that women are afraid to be genuinely loved by men. So let me think about that first. Do I think women are afraid to be soul of thought? I'm gonna get to your question too. Like I said, I'm not in a hurry. So if y'all here, we here. Deacon says, why are women so afraid to be genuinely loved by men? Let me see. Do I think women are afraid to be genuinely loved by men? I don't know if I agree with the first part, bro. I don't think that women nowadays are afraid to be genuinely loved by men. I think that a lot of women don't know what a man's love looks like. We express our love in a lot of different ways, depending on the man that we are. And sometimes I think women don't know how to identify a man's love. When a man takes a woman under his covering, meaning this, if you're dating somebody serious, let's just use it in today's terms. We don't even have to be strict to everybody doing everything by the book. We know that's not realistic. If somebody's been dating long term and a man has a place and a woman has a place, and he says, hey, come move into my place. Or let's say he moves into her place, but he takes over the rent payment or the mortgage payment, whatever the case may be. He's putting her under his covering. Financially, he's covering the large bills, right? And then he also is putting her under his covering of protection, right? Somebody kicking this door, you stay back here. I'm going to go check it out. We hear a noise, I'm going to go check it out. Flat tire, I'm on the way. Or I got the AAA on the way, or whatever the case may be. So when a man takes a woman under his covering, simply put, that's him expressing love, because at that point, he becomes responsible for her. So everything that he's getting up and doing every single day is not for him. It is for the y'all. It's for you, him, and whatever children y'all make or whatever children are in the situation. That is a man's love at a fundamental level. So I don't know that I feel like women are afraid to genuinely be loved by men. I think they have a Disney or a fairy tale idea of what love being presented to them by a man looks like. And again, because I come from a loving, warm family, I know what realistic love looks like. You know what I'm saying? And it's not niggas walking in the house with random gifts weekly and shit. That shit ain't about nothing. Because all them people that's buying each other, that shit don't never end. That never ends. That's like chasing a high. Just like, okay, let me nuance this real quick. Souls of thought, I promise I'm coming to your question. Anybody else got questions? Pile them up in the chat. But let me nuance this real quick. When people ask what's your love language, women who got gifts and they top 1 or 2, that's a red flag to me. That's a red flag to me. That's like chasing a high. You can't fulfill that, gang. You're gonna be buying forever. And then at what point are we hoarders? Because where are we putting all this shit at? At what point are we hoarders? Like I told y'all, I'm just a modest dude. So I'm attracted to women that match me. I would never be with a woman that's like super superficial and shit. She need to have 30 purses and got 2 arms. Fuck 4. Like, I'm not gluttonous. I'm not none of that. So that shit get weird to me. But yeah, man. Solar Thought. Let's go to the next question. Solar Thought says, when we starting the live panel? Oh shit, I'm ready. I'm ready, man. Y'all email me or follow me on Instagram and DM me for sure. My email is theclassiccodes777@gmail.com, or follow me on IG at theclassiccodes and just DM me. We could put that together sooner than later. I told y'all, I don't know if y'all saw my content on my life-changing injury, but that's not a video that's about the past. That's about the present. I'm currently recovering from a patella tendon tear. So I'm off my feet, y'all. So I can go live mostly whenever, and we can figure out the scheduling or whatever. We can get some shit going. I like y'all lines of conversation and it's nuance. We don't agree about everything. So I think we'll have some good conversation for sure. For sure. Then he dropped another question. Do you think there's a timeline on dating? When should you move both parties? Yeah, I think you should be intentional. I think understanding each other spiritually is important too. Everybody doesn't believe in getting married on paper. So if that's important to the woman and the man not on that, they should have that conversation early. Don't waste each other's time. If the man on that and the woman not on that, they should have that conversation early. Don't waste each other's time. But as far as like timeline on dating, I believe in moving at like a strategic pace, like a nice, comfortable pace that you can feel confident in. I believe the man should set the pace and the tempo when it comes to dating. I can't say a timeline definitively as far as months and shit like that, but I do know the older you are out here still dating, the longer it takes to get to know somebody for real. If you meet somebody at 21, it takes less time to get to know them as a person as you do meeting somebody at 34 and y'all been around on earth much longer, much more experiences, much more things that have changed you and molded you in a lot of different ways, different phases you've been through in your life. It's just a lot more to learn. And so with that being said, if you really want to know who you dealing with and what you getting, you got to really take your time and vet, not interrogate or overly ask questions, but just be around people in different situations. I need to see what it's like being around your family on a holiday. You know what I'm saying? If we start talking, you know, in March, the major holidays is a little ways away. So when that first Thanksgiving or that first Christmas come around, I'm trying to see what that look like. You know what I'm saying? You know, is all your cousins hoes? Is, you know, your best friend that's popping by the crib to grab some sweet potato pie? Is she a thought? Because I'm gonna judge you by your circle too, for sure. That's not an illogical thing to do. But again, here on the Classic Codes, I ain't here to make nobody comfortable. It's not illogical. If your friends is hoes, if your cousins is hoes, I'm looking at you wondering what you've been into before you got to me, for sure. And it mattered to me too. So, but as far as timeline, I just think people should move at a moderate pace to where they could really, literally get to know each other for real. You know, that's all. I can't really say a definitive like months though. I would say before you talking about like marrying something though, give it a year. I'll say that. I wouldn't do nothing under 12 months. I want to see you through all 4 seasons right quick. He said, good point. Yeah. Yep. I need to see you through all 4 seasons right quick. I need to see what's going on. And I need you to see me. Because I'm not like anybody. So, you know, I don't see the world the same as anybody. I got a lot of different like vantage points and viewpoints. And then on top of that, I'm a real truth seeker. So when people get uncomfortable with dealing with new information or dealing with things that they finding out that are not actually a part of their reality that they taught was, whatever the case may be, when I'm cracking codes, I can't be around a woman who's not conscious, somebody who's going to be resistant to the fact that we finding information that is dispelling something that we once upon a time believed in. And that's whatever it is. It could be a new math, new science, new new geographical discoveries. You know, it's a lot of conversation about what's on the other side of the ice wall going on. It's a lot of conversations about whether or not the earth is flat or actual space exploration. You know, these are things that as a child I got called, weird. I got called eclectic, which was like a nice way of grown folks calling you weird, and shit like that. Just like when I told, grown folks that I seen a UFO when I was a little kid. And, they all brushed me off like you just a little kid. It was probably just an airplane, blah, blah, blah. But then fast forward all these years and the government come out and tell y'all ass it's been UFOs flying around this bitch. And we just letting y'all know that that's what y'all was seeing. Y'all wasn't tweaking. So now all the people that's been called all these years, little kids all the way up to grown-ups, y'all got to eat crow on that. Y'all got to eat crow on that. So I never been the type of person that waited for somebody else to validate what I could see with my own eyes. I never been that type of person. That's how I know I'm not a sheep. I'm a shepherd. I don't need you to validate what I'm looking at. I see it. I can assess it for myself. I'm not an Adam ass nigga. Eve examined the fruit, saw that the fruit was good to her, thought it was nutritious and everything, and still decided to bite the fruit, even though she knew she wasn't supposed to. When she handed that fruit to Adam, he did the same. I'm not an Adam ass nigga. That's not me. I'm not following behind her bad decision making, and I'm not examining the fruit for myself and making a poor decision of my own. We're not gonna do that. I'm gonna believe what I can see. I know this ain't right. I'm looking at it. You feel me? And I think a lot of when you're that honest about all types of shit and all facets of life, it makes it hard to be with a modern woman because delusion has become so acceptable that reality is frowned upon. I'm gonna say that one more time for y'all because that's some home cooking. Delusion has become so acceptable that reality is now frowned upon. So if you're a person walking around trying to have real conversations, talk about the truth, learn things about, because guess what, y'all? Guess what? In 2025, you know what we actually learning? That they lied to us, starting with everything. That's what we're learning. They lied to us, starting with everything. Souls of thought. You said you was in the military, right? So you been knew they lied to us, starting with everything. People be like, what they lied to us about? Pick something. The food, God, automobiles, gasoline being a necessity. Man, we could have been having cars running on salt water, but the people that keep reinventing the technology keep going missing. Do your own research. I'm not going to do your homework for you, and you can't copy off my cheat sheet. You can't copy off my test. Go do your own research. Souls of thought. Tell me I'm tweaking, bro. Tell me I'm tweaking, bro. They lied to us starting with everything. They told y'all last they went to outer space. Nothing about it looked real, but we are so gullible as a population. That's why I say we, right? Because I'm still a part of the population, even if I'm an exception to the rule. We are gullible by and large. That's just what it is. So until we get, somebody who don't understand that, it'll be difficult for them to fuck with me long term. I'm gonna throw them off or get on their nerves at some point. Yeah. So what other questions y'all got, man? We approaching the hour 30 mark. Deacon said you're correct. Yup. Souls of thought said yes, sir. Read, behold the pole, read, behold the pole horse. I'm gonna buy the book today. Can you give me that author if you got it, bro? So I don't buy the wrong one. Sometimes books be having duplicate titles. And he said, you're correct. Yeah. They lied to us starting with everything. And the people that listen, I get that people comfortable because we was taught whatever when we was born and we was raised in certain thought processes. And then we went to the public indoctrination system with that they call the school. And so we comfortable in what we already thought was true. We just already comfortable. They told us this was true. We bought into the shit. We've been doing it this long. Why the fuck here you come telling me the actual truth and shit? Didn't nobody ask you. That's how people be feeling. But you're gonna learn when the shit hit the fan, because it ain't no if. You'll learn when it hit the fan that you should have heightened your senses a lot sooner, because them the people that's gonna thrive when this shit get real. Believe that. Them billionaires ain't running around building bunkers for nothing. But again, they teach you to be able to see something and question what you could see. And then they teach you to believe with your whole heart in some shit you would never see with your eyes. Gotcha. That's propaganda, ladies and gentlemen. That's propaganda, ladies and gentlemen. Working like an algorithm. Yeah, gotcha. No more questions at this time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 1 second. I'll wait for you, Solar Thought. Like I said, I got time. Yeah, man. This shit get deep when you really think about it. And that's why I'm so grateful for this time allotted to be able to tap into my content creation like full time right now while I'm rehabbing this injury and shit and really go crazy. Because when I get back to the grind, you know what I mean? It's still gonna be consistent, but y'all not gonna be getting like 6, 7, 8 videos a day and shit like that. Realistically, y'all will get one good ass live, and then it on to tomorrow type shit. But yeah, but I'm grateful for this time because I could really, spread my perspective with y'all. And sometimes I give my perspective, not expecting to be fully agreed with, but to trigger something in you to start looking at some shit that you only looked at one way your whole life, to start looking at that shit from 3 or 4 different lenses. Because when you start looking at that shit from different angles, you be like, I might have been tweaking. And that's what it make you want to investigate your thought process. And nothing wrong with that, because then you find out if it's solid or not. You fortified at that point, because you might have been right all along too, but you might have been tweaking. Don't you want to know? So that's what this channel is about. William Cooper, got you. Thank you for that author. William Cooper, bet. Behold the pole horse, William Cooper, tenfold. Matter of fact, I'm finna write that shit down. Hold on. Behold the pole horse, William Cooper. Got to. Yes, Lord. But yeah, man, if it ain't no more other questions for me, man, y'all got to make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all drop some comments. Make sure y'all tap into all the other content I got. I got hella videos up. A lot of this shit is entertainment. But if y'all really want to tap into like some consciousness, look at my code language videos. Them the ones. To me, them get the least views. Obviously, the entertaining stuff get all the views. But if y'all really want to tap into some, look at my code language videos. Those are the ones, man. But I appreciate y'all for sure. What'd you say? Research him too. He came up missing. Okay. Look up William Cooper. He came up missing. Okay. And then he said, my mind shifted at 25 when I started reading. Yeah. You got to read. The truth been in the movies, but picking up them books will take you to a whole different level. That's for sure. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, y'all make sure y'all be good. If y'all don't do nothing else, make sure y'all stick to the codes. We got another classic on our hands.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold.